All right, so today I'm going to be showing you all how to build a trip in Slate as well as adding events and stops. And this is crucial to any of the travel that you are doing in the fall or during the spring so that you know where you are headed and keep track of it all in the Slate system. So if you're on the main page, you're going to start and hover over the events button up at the top and go down to trips where the world icon is. Once you get here, you can see if you've already made any trips, but if this is your first one, you're going to click New Trip. When you click it, you're going to type in the name of the trip, and the way that it needs to be done is going to be your last name. So for me, that's Sutton. Underscore, it's going to be the state or the region. So I'm going to do Jeff Co. So Jefferson County for me. Another underscore, you're going to do the season it is in the year. So we'll do fall 20. That would actually be next fall. And then another underscore, and this is the trip number it is. So in a series of trips, maybe you're going to multiple states or you're visiting Colorado more than once over a span of 2 different seasons. Maybe this is my first trip, maybe it's my second, and this is how you create that title. So easy enough. You need to follow this rubric though. Last name, state or region that you are in, the season as well as the year, and then what trip number it is. Easy enough. You don't need to fill anything else out. And as you saw, the user, that's you, already auto-populates, and then you would hit save. I don't want to create a new trip for this tutorial, so I will not, but that's how you create the trip. So once the trip is created, you'll be able to see it here. And if I go in and click on it, this is what is going to appear. So at first, there will be no dots on your map because you haven't created any visits. And pretty soon, it will look like this. You'll have your visits set up, and it'll look very organized and neat. So to get started with that, you'll go to the right-hand side and click New Event. After it loads up, there are a series of boxes, but don't get too intimidated. You don't need to fill all of them out. The page title is just asking for what high school it is and what the event is. So let's pretend I'm going to Amazing School, and that is the name of the school. It's not a fair, so I don't want to write fair. It's just an amazing school. Maybe I'll type visit, maybe I won't. It's really up to you and your preference. We do not need to fill out internal name. It is optional if that's something you really want. Template, you don't need to. Folder is the next thing. Again, for most of these, it's going to be an off-campus event. It all makes sense. This is international, on-campus general, but most of your fairs and your visits are going to be an off-campus event. So click that. The next pop-up is going to be what type of off-campus event is it? So like I said, this is a high school visit. So you would scroll down and click that. And the nice thing, once you are well informed on the system and know what you're doing, you can just start to type the different letters. So O for off, and it will populate for you. So you don't even have to click and scroll down to the different options. Don't need to pay attention to realm. Next thing you'll want to look at is the status. So there are 4 different types: confirmed and active, tentative, canceled, or declined. So maybe you don't know if you're going to visit this school yet, so it's tentative, but you have an ideal time you'd like to go and want to get it in. Or it's confirmed, you and the counselor have set this up. Cancel would again be if something happened, something came up. And decline will be if they invited you to it, it was already in the system, but you will not be attending that event. So right now, we'll keep it at tentative. Next, you're going to want to put in the date that the visit is. So we'll say it is September 4th. We'll say it's at 9 a.m. And you do need to type all of this out. You need to re-say it's on the exact same day, we assume. And it's only a half-hour visit, so it'll go from 9 a.m. to 9:30. You don't need to type in deadline, time zone. You just want it to auto-detect where you are. User, it should have auto-populated, and that is all you do on this page. So again, you're filling out the page title with the school name, the folder, and what type of event it is, the status of the event, the date and time that you will be going, and just making sure it's on auto-detect from location and that you are the user. Next, you want to go to this tab, location. This is great because it's going to autofill as well. So if I was looking for Amazing School, it's not going to pop up. But if I was looking for, say, Bear Creek, you can see there's the one I'm looking for. So there's multiple. You're going to want to make sure you have the correct school. It will give you the incorrect address. Everything will auto-populate, and this is the best way to do it. If there's not a school in the system already, that is a different problem. And finally, you don't need to pay attention to description or limits, but in notes, you might want to write a note for yourself. This is where I typically write any important details that the counselor and I have been communicating, or even just a confirmation email I'll put in here. And I'll show you what that looks like on my end. So you can type text, test, anything like that, and hit save. So now it's going to show up. If we scroll down, there it is. Amazing School is the title of it. So again, you can really type whatever is going to remind you. As you can see, most of them, I just typed the high school. You can see that I scheduled it Wednesday, September 4th, 9 a.m. to 9:30. This is the address. So if I need to quickly pull that up in my phone, the main point of contact, which is great. And again, this is where you would have any information. Over here on the right, it shows that is tentative because it's not a confirmed visit, like I said, and you can always go back and then edit it the same way by clicking Edit Event. So this is what it'll look like when you actually have something filled out. We'll look at the D'Evelyn one. So looks the same. I've confirmed it though. And again, it looks like I was emailing with Kim, and this was kind of our correspondence. So something just to remind me of what was the last thing we talked about? Is this for sure set in stone? And what's cool is a little button will pop up of where the school is. So you can kind of see how many visits and where they are located on this map. So that's pretty exciting stuff. That's how you add an event. Next thing I want to show you is how to add a stop. So in Slate, you're going to want to add your airport as well as your hotels. Again, good to keep everything in Slate. So you'll start over on the right, and instead of new event, you'll click new stop. This one also looks a little daunting, but it's not that bad. For the type, let's start with flight. Again, if you're taking any trains, it's not that common. Stop, you don't usually need to use. So really, you'll be using flight or hotel most often. So if we start with the flight, you're going to choose your departure airport. So most often, you'll be going from DIA or the Denver International Airport. It will autofill when you start typing that in. The departure date, again, we can choose whatever it is, the 30th, and the flight code. So after you have booked your flight and you have gotten it cleared, you already have that flight code and can type it in, and you are good to go. You do not need to fill in this other information. So I'm not going to hit save again. This isn't the flight that I'm taking, but when you're done, you would hit save. For adding a hotel, you click new stop again, choose the stop, and you want a hotel. You can see it's a little bit different. So this is going to be the name of your hotel. You'll want to type it in there, what date you are checking in the hotel, and what date you are leaving the hotel. Again, these times can be approximate. It doesn't need to be to the minute, but just to give you a reminder and let you know, as well as Deidre know, where you are at what time. You want to leave this on auto detect as well, and then you can start to populate this. So if I'm looking for a Holiday Inn, and maybe it has that exact name, you can kind of find it down here. Maybe it's in Wheat Ridge. Where is it? You can start typing in that hotel, and it will auto-populate and fill in the rest of the address for you as well. So that is easy enough. Again, you don't need to fill out contact through the phone. Everything else would be auto-populated from your location name, and that is it for hotels, and that will pop up as well once you hit save. Just want to show you an example of what those two might look like. So if I go back in a previous trip, I'm going to go into past trips, and I want to see where I was in Massachusetts, what it looks like. So if you look at the top, the very first day, it looks like that I was flying out September 16th. This was my airline number, 599. You can see the exact times of that flight and everything else that comes with it. And then up here, you can see that I was checking into a Holiday Inn, Express Brockton in Boston. It gives me that address, and you can see that these are both stops, and I can edit that hotel and edit that flight, and it goes on to the next day. So they look a little bit different from the fares and the visits that you are making. So that is it for building a trip and for adding events. It can definitely get a little complicated and is quite time consuming, but this is one of the best skills for you to have when you are planning travel. So I hope this was really helpful for you, and I will see you next time.